Hello and welcome back to the Legend of Zelda the Minish Cap. When we last left off, we had just killed another giant caterpillar and had gotten the compass for the map. Now we're gonna try and get up here so we can get the other treasures. Most of the treasures in these rooms we won't be able to get yet though because they're frozen in ice. And there's no lever to let the sun in these particular rooms to get the treasure. We need to get the item in this dungeon known as the lantern, which we should get this part. It'll allow us to melt blocks of ice and such so we can get other treasures and such. Yep. Also careful of those enemies, they can knock you off if you're not careful. Now here's a little bit of a block puzzle. First thing to do is look. Don't touch any of the blocks that... Well, what you want to look for is the block that can slide into the other blocks and collide with them. Like, this one's the only one you can really push into the other blocks in a sequence, really, if you pay attention. So push the top one down, to the right, down again, then left, then up. And that should do it. Now we can get past the barrier. Also, it's hard to open. I have trouble opening this treasure chest just because of all the slippery ice. Also, careful of those beetles again. Or bugs, or whatever they are, actually. Don't know their proper name, because they're such an uncommon enemy in every other game. They're just bugs in general. So yeah, if you go to the left, you'll see a treasure chest frozen in ice. And again, we won't be able to get that for a little while. Hopefully not too much longer, but probably not for a little bit. Yeah, be careful in these rooms since they're so dark. Just moving slowly until you can see where the edge of the platform is. Otherwise, just stick close to the wall. There's nowhere else you can really go, so just stick close to the wall and then go up. Again, these creatures aren't too hard to they aren't too hard to defeat now. We're in a much larger area to actually fight them. But again, when you're fighting those pincer creatures in small enclosed spaces, it's much harder to fight them. Anyways, if you use the sword here and split into a copy, you'll be able to push the lever. And pushing the lever will unlock the next area of the dungeon, as well as make us that much closer to getting the water element. We do need more sunlight though, so we do need to explore much more of the dungeon now. Yeah, I'm trying to be really careful here and not fall off the edge. But I do screw up. And at the worst possible moment, too. Oh yeah, and as long as you're just lightly tapping the control stick, you should be able to get past these ice areas fine with no problems. I use the gust jar here to see what's in the jars, but there's really nothing in them. Yeah, that's where I screw up, and then I had to do it all over again. That was annoying. Funny but annoying. Let's see what happens next. Oh yeah, that's right. So in the next room you should see, like, yeah, we can't get past there due to ice, but we need to get a key, and then we should be able to get actually the lantern, which will allow us to melt ice. This puzzle isn't too hard, it's just using the levers. Just push the lever on the bottom, push the lever on the upper floor again, then go downstairs and push the lever again. And you should be able to get the sunlight to the treasure chest so you can get the key inside it, which will unlock the door back on the upper floor. I'm not sure what I was doing here. I think I just wanted to close up these, close these up just because I didn't need to use them anymore, and I forgot if the upper one actually blocked the pathway out. It didn't. I was wrong in that regard. Just forgetful at the time. In this room, we're gonna fight an old enemy. Well, sort of. Essentially, what this enemy is it is the boss from the first temple, except it is different in the fact that it's blue. It's a blue chew jelly. It has an electrical attack, but also you can't always use the gust jar on it. There'll be times you can't use the gust jar on it. I think it also jumps around more often than the green one did. Not sure about that. Just quickly roll out of the way, and again, once you deplete most of its base, it'll start tumbling around. Yeah, see, I'm trying to use the gust jar there, and it's not working. That's because it's using its electricity to protect itself. But once it stops using it, just use the gust jar on it. You'll be fine. It's pretty much as easy as the first boss was in the game. So there shouldn't be any problems in taking this thing on. Unless you're low on health from dealing with all the ice and stuff early in the dungeon. But if you've been following this playthrough, you should honestly have a few fairies by now in some of the bottles you've acquired. And there we go. It's defeated. And now that it's defeated, we can get the lantern. And the lantern will allow us, of course, to melt ice blocks and pretty much get every other treasure in this game. There's not too much to do once we get the lantern. It's just mostly melting ice and getting to the next room. Oh yeah, also we start gaining much more rupees now. Oh, also just to remind you, I'm gonna get a lot of mysterious shells probably in this dungeon, I think, from some of the treasure chests we missed earlier. But again, I won't deal with what the mysterious shells are used for until later in the game. Just because they're not really important. And it's sort of a side thing you do. Now, this room is sort of a maze, but there's nothing really complicated about it. You just go around and press each switch you find and light all the torches you see, pretty much. Lighting each torch will pretty much clear the pathway ahead. Now when you go into the room on the left, you're gonna run into a bunch of those bug-like scurrying creatures. Just be careful. You should be fine, really. It's just sort of hard to deal with so many in one room at once, but as long as you yeah, it didn't take that long to take care of that room, actually. There shouldn't be a problem with that room, honestly. Let's see. Yeah, so this really isn't a maze, it's just sort of like, Oh yeah, that's right. I figured out in this part you can actually roll under the, flying bugs if you, roll under them. Didn't know that before. Just discovered it accidentally in this playthrough. And yeah, that's it for this room pretty much. Pretty much all that was in here was a bunch of red kinstones. Which isn't bad because we actually need those if we want to get more heart pieces and such later in the game. Yeah, I'm checking around to see if there's any blocks I need to push, but I don't think there are in this room at least. In some of the other rooms there are blocks you need to push, but not in this one. Let's see. Oh yeah, more ice, just be careful. This one you probably won't fall off of. Alright, this room's a little different. What you need to do is push the upper block to the left, push the lower block down, and then push the block on the left down one, and then push the block on the top right two. Yeah, that's it. Again, it's just sort of like pushing these in the right way so you don't get stuck or you don't get trapped. Ah, yeah, that's right. These ice blocks, there's one ice block you can get on a button. I accidentally melt the ice block without meaning to, and that was a mistake. What you actually need to do is, push the ice block on the left, down, and then to the, left, and you'll get it on a switch. push the other ice block to the left and trap it in that corner next to the rock. And you should be able to make a clone copy of yourself and get to the other side of the map and press the buttons. Once you do, you should be able to get through the door. Here, I actually forgot to push the ice block, and I realized a mistake once I do that. There. And now that that's out of the way, I'll clone myself, and then get over on the switches. That's it. Again, there's not much to talk about in regards to this dungeon, because most of the enemies are enemies we fought before. The only really new thing is the ice and the lantern. So there's really not much to talk about in this dungeon. The thing I can really talk about is the boss, but that's later in the dungeon. So yeah, in this room just press the block up on the right and yeah, you'll open the door. Also, I keep getting trapped in the corner with the fireballs, so I couldn't get out. That was bad luck on my part. Alright, in this room all you had to do is light all the torches, I guess, and that's it. I don't think there's a specific order, so just light them anyway. It doesn't matter which way you light them, just light them all, door opens, that's it. I don't know, this probably is actually, my least favorite dungeon, just because there isn't that much stuff that's new in this dungeon. Yeah, I start dying here because I keep getting pushed into the water and pushed back by all the pincers. Alright, I'm gonna end it off here since this video's been going on long enough. If you enjoyed it, please tell me. If you enjoyed it, tell me what Legend of Zelda game you want to see next, because I'm actually getting close to wrapping this up. Also, if you have any suggestions or comments, please feel free to leave them below on my channel or whatever. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time.